This I wanna nail sports to the bone. Top blogger, top YouTube channel. No matter which sports, here we got it covered. Subscribe and hit the notification bell.
Blessed day to you, all my sports to the bone people. Welcome back to another video. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope everybody's doing okay. Hope you're all enjoying your day so far. And in this one, I have a couple of pointers that I would like to speak on. So yesterday, England, they secured victory, therefore winning the test series with one game to go. So they are leading 2-0 and we have one game remaining. So for the sake of this video, I have actually narrowed down what I wanted to say to only 6 points. Right? You can call 3 positives and 3 negatives. And, there are quite a few other things that we could speak on. But I'm just going to touch on these in this video. So give a listening ear. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. And remember, if you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. All right. So the first thing, we're going to start with a couple of positives. The first thing, we managed to bowl them out twice. Yes, we managed to bowl them out twice. Even though they probably made more runs than we wanted, the bowlers were able to bowl them out twice. So it wasn't a case of England, going out there and just batting until they felt content and, decide to declare. Our bowlers, they were able to bowl them out. And, that's a good start when you're trying to build a test team that, looking to win games. That is looking to win games. You have to be able to bowl out teams. You have to be able to take 20 wickets in a game. Not all the time it will be necessary or will be needed, but that's one thing. You need to be able to take 20 wickets. So that's number one. We bowled them out twice. The second thing, we showed good application in the first innings and we outscored England. Yes, we showed good application and we outscored them. That is something that, is a plus. It's definitely a plus. We know how England, how they like to bat. They try to bat quickly, try to score the runs as fast as they can and all. I mean, we took more overs than they used, but we outscored them. We outscored them in the first innings. And the big problem with that, though, is that it's test cricket and it's 5 days. You have 5 days, my people, and you have to be consistent with what you are doing. So the team that is able to consistently do the right things, that's the team that's going to win. So even though we outscored them in the first innings, we saw what happened in the second innings. A big old collapse with the bat, right? So we have to be able to be consistent with what we're doing. That is how you move from number 8, 9 in the rankings to number 2, number 1. As much as always we like to say, boy, we don't really understand how the rankings work. I always say, for some reason, the teams that are winning, they are always the teams, the ones that seem to be at the top. So we have to consistently do the right things. That's how you move up the order, move up the rankings. So that's number 2 thing. Showed good application in the first innings, and we outscored England. Number 3, batsmen taking advantage of the starts. We can probably tie that into number 2, but I just made it another one. Batsmen taking advantage of the starts. Now, only one person was able to go on and get a century, Hodge. Right? Only Hodge was able to go on and get a century. So you're probably saying, how is it that I am saying we took advantage of start, yet still only one person got a century? Well, a couple of guys got in the 80s, and, that was enough to give us a good first inning score. When it comes on to test cricket, when it comes on to cricket, it's a team sport. And, even if you're not able to get that 3-figure mark, if you get to 20, 30 in a test match, you need to push on to get a big score, 80, 90, and even 100. When it so happens that you don't get 100, but quite a few guys get half centuries, and you manage to get the team over 400, that is good. As much as how we would want to want them all to get three figure, so we could say, yeah, man, they capitalize on the starts, they convert half century into century. It just wasn't to be this time. But I have always said, in a test match, if you are able to get a 30 or a 40, spending a whole and a half at the crease, that is a start. So when you are able to push that on and get into the 80s, 90s, I would say that you capitalize in the sense that your bat time and you're adding score, you're adding runs to the overall total. Don't know if that part makes sense, but your batting time, test cricket is about batting time. So, you want to be scoring runs, but it's about occupying the crease. So, a man don't just get 20 or 30 and get out. You occupy the crease and, you still score some runs. So one thing I know is that working through the 80s and 90s will come with experience. That will come with experience. Getting into the 80s and 90s, sometimes we have batsmen starting to play some little weird shots. They start getting a bit nervous and thing like that. Some people call it the nervous 90s. One famous past player said that it can't be the nervous 90s because you have been there for a while batting and get all the way up to 90 or 80 runs. So, but that will come in experience. So those are the three things that I wanted to highlight were on a positive note. Obviously, we had a couple more things, that we can say positive, especially in the first innings. Now, the negative things coming out of that game there are mostly from the second innings that we need to sort out. Game awareness. On the fourth day, my people, we had, I think it was 40 odd overs to go in the day's play with a full day remaining to either bat out the time to draw the game or to try and chase it down. All we had to do, was just go out there and play sensible cricket. Don't go chasing after balls outside the half stump and stuff like that. We were unable to resist the urge and we were bundled out with an entire day to spare. On what, people call a batting pitch. So the game awareness, I have a problem with it. Number two, the fielding and the catching. The fielding and the catching was extremely poor. It was poor, my people. As poor as I have seen it in a little while now. I tell you, my people, we had a couple of good catches. Jason Holder took a couple of good catches in the slip. We saw Hodge and Sinclair taking a couple of catches also. But we had a couple of drops. We had a couple of misfields. So those are things that we definitely need to work on. Same thing in the first game, my people. The feeling wasn't up to par. So we definitely need to work on that. And that is giving away the game even before you hold the bat. You understand? So that's definitely something we need to work on. Now the third thing, we probably can tie it in with number one where I said game awareness. The third thing, critical thinking. Being strategic, being able to think on the spot, being able to change things up, right? I mean, sticking to the same plan when it is obviously not working is probably not a good idea. Obviously, when you put a plan together, you want to give it enough time to see if it will come to fruition. But if it just not work, it just not working. You understand? One example, I saw when the ball was swinging a whole lot and we decided to keep on bowling short pitch deliveries, especially to Harry Brook. When, we could mix it up a little bit, strengthen the slip card and try to nick him off or put him on a gully, try to nick him off or something. And so whole heap of things, my people. A whole lot of things. Thinking on the feet and just changing and tweaking plans and stuff like that. I mean, all great leaders, they have something in common. Being able to think on their feet. Being critical thinkers. You understand? There are people like the Sammys of the world, the Ricky Ponting, the Stephen Fleming, the Owen Morgan, who was basically the man that started this whole thing for England, where white ball cricket is concerned, in terms of leadership. Pollard, Graeme Smith, all of these guys, I grew up seeing them and as leaders, and they were pretty good. I mean, I can't speak of Clive Lloyd and Viv Richards and all of these guys from back in the days. I wasn't around. But, for all that I have seen, this is what they all have in common. Being able to tinker with plans, being able to tweak plans and make sure that what you're facing, that is what you're dealing with. You might be planning for a thing and you realize that it's not working. You move to something else. It's just similar to Hodge when Hodge was batting in the first innings when he got the century. They were peppering him with a lot of short pitch deliveries, right? A lot of short pitch bowling with Mark Wood, and at one point they have about 3 or 4 men on the leg side there looking to catch. Until they found out that his back foot game was pretty good. Back foot game. They found out that he was pretty good playing the ball off the back foot. So, they had to switch it up. They had to move it. You understand? So these are the little things that the captain and the senior players need to make sure that they are getting right. Especially when the bowlers, when they are not, really able to pry out wickets. So, those are just a couple of things that I wanted to touch on, my people. So, once again, the positives, we were able to bowl them out twice. Number two, we showed good application in the first innings to outscore England. Number three, batsmen taking advantage of starts. And for the negative stuff now, game awareness, fielding and catching. We had critical thinking or strategic thinking, to see if you can win games. So those are just a few pointers out of a whole list of things that I could have come up with, my people. But let me know what you all think in the comment section. Big up.